Anti-heroes. Who are they, and why do we like them so much? My name is Angus Burton, and welcome to the NerdX. So with 2016 heading underway, we've had so many different anti-heroes so far. We've had Deadpool going through, we've had Batman versus Superman, superheroes are now taking on each other, we've had Iron Man versus Captain America, and Daredevil taking on the Punisher. So the question is, why are we suddenly getting interested in anti-heroes in comparison to regular heroes, or even the villains for that matter? Well, the best way to compare that is looking at the three different groups. My example for this would be looking mostly at Game of Thrones. So if you haven't seen any Game of Thrones episodes so far, I'd recommend checking out the first couple of the series before coming back to this video. Okay? Right, with that out of the way, let's get started. So to compare the three groups, let's have a look at heroes, anti-heroes, and villains. The main anti-hero which I'm going to be looking at is Tyrion Lannister, played by Peter Dinklage, in comparison to Ned Stark, played by Sean Bean, and Joffrey Baratheon, played by Jack Gleeson. So the thing with anti-heroes nowadays is that we're looking at them more relatable in comparison to our more greater known heroes. Anti-heroes are usually more relatable, they're usually more human, they're usually more funny. In fact, a lot of people are finding Tyrion and his sidekick Bronn to be some of the most popular characters in the entire series. Now if you look at the spectrum, we can go to one side looking at the hero. When comparing anti-heroes to heroes such as Ned Stark and Robb Stark, they're larger-than-life characters. These sorts of characters envelop various different roles throughout the series. They can be underdogs.
All dwarves are bastards in their father's eyes.
They can be jesters.
How would you like to die, Tyrion, son of Tywin?
In my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my cock.
Or they can be downright badasses. Let's face it, which GOT fan hasn't gone back and watched that scene 1,000 times with a little bit of a smile on their face?
I'm telling Mother!
One more time for effect.
You can't!
Speaking of this character, let's have a look at Joffrey, one of the most hated characters throughout the Game of Thrones universe. And the only person which we've ever seen really stand up to this character is, of course, our anti-hero Tyrion. He's willing to stand up to such cruel brutality and face off against villains by any means necessary. When you're looking at other characters, more heroic ones such as the Starks, they're the ones which follow a strict moral code. They do not lie, they do not cheat, they do not kill. They're all about protecting the people, saving the day, and generally maintaining all sorts of virtues. As for Tyrion, not so much.
I am the god of chits and wine.
The problem with heroes these days is that they're far too predictable. We're starting to recognise their overall plot lines. There's a disaster, the hero goes to save it. The hero saves the day, end of story. But with anti-heroes, it's much more of a ragged scale. Anti-heroes, considering that they can be underdogs, can rise and fall at the drop of a hat. And that's what makes it so interesting. It's a building of suspense within the story. Whilst with heroes, you recognise where the story's going straight from the first scene. So to sum up, anti-heroes are generally the characters who would be considered heroic if it weren't for various different dark deeds which they're willing to put themselves through. Why we like them so much is because they're far less predictable than the heroes which we've known for in the past, creating storylines within Game of Thrones which are far less derivative than what you've seen in your average fairy tale. So what do you guys think at home? Who's your favourite anti-hero character? Which character are you more interested in seeing next? I myself am interested in seeing the Suicide Squad coming up in the summer. If you want to keep this conversation going, why don't you just leave a comment in the section below? And don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.